I'm Stuart McIntosh with the BBC News. Hello. The US Senate has passed a huge climate and healthcare spending bill that was a central part of Joe Biden's programme as president. The bill will channel more than $400 billion towards achieving his clean energy goals. It's been struck in the Senate for many months due to the opposition of 2 Democrats as well as all 50 Republican senators. It'll return to the House of Representatives for a final reading next week and is expected to be approved. Peter Bowes reports.
This is the most consequential package of measures to fight climate change in US history. It includes a series of financial incentives aimed at steering the world's biggest economy away from fossil fuels, with initiatives to boost electric car ownership and the use of solar energy. The bill also includes significant investments in healthcare, with measures to reduce prescription drug costs, and it imposes higher taxes on businesses with profits exceeding $1 billion. In a statement, President Biden said the bill would fulfill his promise to make government work again for working families.
Huge crowds have gathered outside Congress in the Colombian capital, Bogotá, for the inauguration of Gustavo Petro, who will become the country's first left-wing president. Mr. Petro, a former Marxist rebel, has promised to introduce ambitious measures to tackle poverty and inequality, including tax hikes for the richest. He's also announced plans to fully implement a peace deal signed with the FARC. These locals say they're hopeful for the country's future.
Today is a historic day for our beloved country, Colombia, because for the first time in 200 years, a ruler who was elected by the people and for the people takes office.
It's the first time that people feel happy about the election of a president. And for the first time, we feel that there is a real transition towards guaranteeing citizens' rights.
A ceasefire agreement aimed to end 3 days of intense fighting between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Islamic Jihad has officially come into effect. More from Yolande Knell.
Israel and Palestinian militants agreed to this truce brokered by Cairo, raising hopes of an end to the worst violence between them in just over a year. Throughout the weekend, there have been intense Israeli strikes against Islamic Jihad targets in Gaza. The armed group fired hundreds of rockets at Israel, aiming longer-range missiles at Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Many were intercepted by Israeli air defences. On Friday, Israel's military launched what it said was a preemptive operation against Islamic Jihad to stop it from attacking Israeli civilians. As a condition for the ceasefire, Islamic Jihad had demanded an easing of Israeli restrictions on Gaza.
That report was by Yolande Knell. You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. One of the greatest Brazilian jiu-jitsu champions of all time, Leandro Lo, has been shot in the head during a party in the city of Sao Paulo. He's been declared brain dead by doctors. Leonardo Rocha reports.
Leandro Lo, who was 33, had won the World Championship 8 times in 3 different weight classes. He was shot by an off-duty police officer, Henrique Veloso, who's now on the run. Witnesses said that after the 2 men had a row at a party in São Paulo, the policeman picked up a bottle to hit the martial arts champion. Lo defended himself, immobilized the man on the floor and told him to go away. The police officer then pulled out a gun and shot Leandro Lo in the forehead. His family say his condition is irreversible.
President Biden says he's angered by the killings of 4 Muslim men in New Mexico, which police are now investigating as linked attacks. He tweeted that he was saddened by the killings in Albuquerque and that his administration stood strong with the Muslim community in the US. Police say the latest victim was shot dead on Friday. Specialist teams from Mexico and Venezuela have joined firefighters in Cuba as they struggle to control a massive blaze at an oil facility in Matanzas. More than 100 specially trained personnel have joined the effort with plane loads of firefighting chemicals. Officials say around 5,000 people have now been evacuated from the area, where 2 fuel tanks are burning uncontrollably after a lightning strike on Friday. Rebels in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo have killed at least 15 civilians and an army captain during attacks on villages over the weekend. The Ituri region's military governor said rebels from the Allied Democratic Forces were thought to have targeted Kandoyi village on Friday night, killing 10 people. Another attack on Saturday left 5 people dead. BBC News.